Good evening, everybody. My name is Paula Shell, and I'm the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. You're in for a special treat. We just first, on behalf of myself and my staff and the board, I want to say thank you so much for those who have signed on early, made a gift. Now more than ever is a very challenging time for all of us. But most of all, the children in our communities. And so when you give tonight, you are impacting the life of the children here in Northwest Florida. So thank you for that. Throughout the night, you'll see a text to give on the bottom of your screen. We would love to encourage you to make a gift and let you know that those dollars raised tonight will go here locally to provide one-to-one mentors to children who need that. So thank you so much. We want to say a special thanks to Live Oak Plantation for hosting us this evening at their beautiful venue. And without further ado, I would like to welcome Sean Dietrich and friends.
5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Is that Mom? Hey, Mama. Nice. Well, just so you know, this is going to be going out live on the internet to all our fans. We have a lot of them out there. We started this podcast, which is what you're going to be hearing, with a grand total of 4 fans. And through lots and lots of hard work from these guys here behind me, we've nestled that total up to 12 fans. And so tonight's going to be going out to all of our dozens and dozens of people. We make what? Doing this hundreds and hundreds of dollars a year. Do I have any volume? I almost did. There we go. Might need a little more than that. Check. Okay, that's good. All right, we're going live in 5, 4, 4.5, 3, 2. Well, there's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright and a sunny side too. Though we greed with darkness and strife, the sunny side also we may view. Oh, keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on that sunny side of life. It'll help us every day, it will brighten all our ways if we keep on that sunny side of life. Well, you are listening to Sean of the South, and I'm your host tonight, coming to you live via the podcast airwaves and radio waves all over this fine nation. This episode is brought to you by Big Brother and Big Sisters of Northwest Florida, changing West Florida one relationship at a time, and by Midnight Shift Coffee, the official coffee of the Pensacola Police Department. A coffee that gives you the get up and go to go up and get that get up and go you're going to get after. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on that sunny side of life. It'll help us every day, it will brighten all our ways if we keep on that sunny side of life. Go ahead. Let us greet with a song of hope each day. Though our moments be cloudy or fair, let us trust in our Savior always. The sun again will shine bright and clear. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on that sunny side alive. It will help us every day. It will brighten all our ways if we keep on that sunny side alive. Take one. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on that sunny side alive. Well, it will help us every day. It will brighten all our ways if we keep on that sunny side alive. Said it will help us every day. It will brighten all our ways if we keep on that sunny side alive. Kind of embarrassing, really. Sounds so small. I was hoping that I'd hear a bigger applause than that. Let's try it again. If you keep on that sun... I can see we're going to have some instructional learning here to do. If you keep on that sunny side alive... That's better, that's better. I appreciate that very much so. 20 people, you don't sound like 20 people. You sound like a lot more than that. It doesn't sound like you're wearing masks either. I'd like to introduce the band to you before we get started. Now that we all know each other. That's Billy Howell on the guitar. This is Steve Gilmore on the Doghouse bass. This is Aaron Peters on the biscuit box fiddle. Aaron Peters is a environmental scientist, not an environmental biologist. Billy also works in digital technology. Is that right? Yeah. And please don't tell anybody that Steve Gilmore plays bass, because his mama thinks he plays piano in a cat house. And I'm Sean Dietrich. And we're going to be playing a few tunes for this 20-people audience tonight. The one tune that I want to start with here is one that I feel like was inspired. We got together, we started writing, all of us together. You should see us all try to write. It's an interesting experience to see us all huddle over the same notepad. I don't know if we can do this in the key of C, but we're going to try it. This is an old standard here. O Tannenbaum, wie grüß sind deine Blätter. O Tannenbaum, wie grüß sind deine Blätter. Wie grüß sind deine Blätter, wie grüß sind deine O Tannenbaum, wie grüß sind deine Blätter. Oh Christmas tree, your leaves are so aesthetic. We love you, oh Christmas tree, especially in pandemics, through hurricanes and weather, and too much sanitizer. Oh Christmas tree, you really should be plastic. Oh, Christmas tree, the CDC says you're scary. The criteria just listed you as quite unsanitary. It is so sweet you endanger us, and you are so very dangerous. Oh, Christmas tree, you really should be plastic. Oh, Christmas tree, fake Christmas tree, it turns out you are deadly. Cheap lights from the dollar store will probably kill your family. Fake Christmas tree, fake Christmas tree, fake Christmas tree, you're scary. Fake Christmas tree, you have a Surgeon General's warning. Oh, Christmas tree, it must be 2020, because you are a hazard now, and hazards we have plenty. But you remain so shimmery, if only in our memory. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree, bring 2021. I really appreciate that, Mama. It means a lot to us. This episode that you're listening to tonight out in the podcast airwaves and on the live station airwaves is also brought to you by Case Knives, a tradition of my family dated back to my granddaddy, who always said, keep your hands sharp and keep your hands away from idle behavior by using a case knife to carve little things out of wood. Case Knives and I have a little agreement that every time I mention Case Knives over the air, I get a free knife in the mail. And thus, I just felt like it was important to include Case Knives in this program. Case Knives is very important to my family, especially in certain cases. In many cases, Case Knives has been there for me as almost like a brother. I'm carrying 2 case knives now, the one golden case in my right pocket and the one wood-handled case in my left pocket. This episode also brought to you by Recording King Guitars. Touch history by playing a 1930s replica instrument from the back of the Montgomery Ward catalog. This is a Montgomery Ward catalog guitar itself, Recording King. Every time I mention Recording Kings, I get a free guitar. What kind of guitar? I'm glad you asked. It's a Recording King guitar. We had an interesting thing happen to us when we drove up here tonight, my wife and I. We were coming along this little road. I believe it's called Beulah Road, which I think is just perfect. And I got a call from the bluegrass band who was going to be playing tonight. Lovely bluegrass band named Blue Mullet, who was endlessly rehearsing. And they said that one of their guys had COVID-19. I said, well, what does that mean? And I know Brother John is watching this live right now. I said, what does that mean? He said, well, it means that none of us are comfortable playing with you tonight, so you don't have a band. I said an expletive that is not a very good word, not a very Baptist type word that I'm used to. I'm from the Southern Baptist tradition. And so I started calling friends. Now, I must have called at least 100 people before I finally settled on these guys. No, truly, I called my buddy Aaron in Montgomery, Alabama. He picked up the phone. He said, what do you want? And I said, I need a fiddle player tonight. Can you come? He said, of course I can. He got into his car. He drove here. How many hours did it take you? 3 hours. Give him a hand. Thank him for coming tonight. This man right here, Billy Howell, also another friend of mine who I've been playing with for a very, very long time, who was around here in Pensacola in 1559 when Tristan de Luna landed on these shores, making this the first multi-year inhabited city in the continental United States. Billy was here. I've played with him a lot. You've probably seen him playing at Global Grill outside on the sidewalk with a little tin cup asking people. He came tonight, spur of the moment, had a basketball game in Daphne, Alabama, his daughter's last basketball game of the season. She won, right? Undefeated. What school was that she goes to? She goes to Daphne? See, you never know your friends until you invite them on your show. Give him a hand for being here tonight, too. And lastly, I'd like to introduce you to my bass player. This is a man who I have played with since I was about yay high. He lives in Panama City Beach, and he is quite a fixture out there in that area. He's always playing gigs. He's playing good gigs, and he's even playing crummy gigs, and then he'll even descend to play gigs like this. I played with him a lot in this little tiny piano club that was out in Santa Rosa Beach. And it was him and another bass player who alternated, and I got to know him. He's been everywhere. He's played with everybody. He's played in all over the world, in Sweden and Japan, with everybody you've met. I believe you used to play with Tom Waits. Is that right? Yep, play with Tom Waits. You used to play with, you played with Dean Martin once, right? Tony Bennett. My, how he has fallen. Being here tonight with us. This is Steve Gilmore, everybody. Give him a hand. Play me a little song. Play me a little song. I'm going to read you a little bit of our mail we put out there on Facebook and Instagram that people could send us messages. They could tell us a little bit about their life, or they could ask Santa for something, or they could tell us what they hope for Christmas. Now, most of that got a lot of letters from children, which is, I guess it only shows you what kind of shape the educational system is in. If children are emailing me. This first letter came to us from Geneva, age 11. Dear Sean, what I hope for Christmas this year is that my whole family can be together, that I can see my family, that I can play outside, I can get rid of that creepy elf on the shelf who is always leaving Hershey kisses in the wrong places. I'd like to see Red, my grandpa's dog, and I'd like to make a slideshow with a Christmas song in it. I would like to sing "Oh Christmas Tree," which we just did and butchered for you, lovely Geneva. I'd like to go back to the old church. I'd like to make sure my family is healthy from COVID. And I would like to eat lots of mints. This next letter is from Mama Cat's View. Dear Sean, I hope my UPS and FedEx truck and mail drivers and all the parcel delivery people get an all-expenses paid vacation to Hawaii, including daily visits to all-you-can-eat pig-out bars, deep tissue massages, nightly tiki hut drinks, because I have been running them absolutely ragged since March with my Amazon orders. Sean, I even ordered a load of cinder blocks from Amazon. This message from Killeth Ann. Hi, Killeth Ann, I know you. This woman has followed me around the United States. She is the best person in the whole world. She gives the biggest hugs. I know she's watching tonight, and I know her best friend Helen Andrews is watching too. Helen Andrews Taylor. Get that right, because divorce is a real thing. Dear Sean, what I wish for Christmas is that I could sit with the Sears and Roebuck catalog and look at every page and dog-ear the pages and think about the things I want, because as I've gotten older, I realize that stuff doesn't bring happiness, just lots and lots of clutter. I wish that this pandemic would soon be conquered by an effective vaccine and that life could begin to get back to normal again so that we could have some normalcy and that we could visit with each other in homes and friends and enjoy food and fellowship, and that we could have a lot of fun going to Sean of the South programs and events, even though they are just merely adequate. I look forward to spending so much time with my friends alone with my four walls and fenced yard. It gets old and lonely. I wish that these last 8 months could have made everyone kinder and more tolerant, but I don't quite see that happening. Anyway, here's to you. Thank you, Keelathan. Closure 2667. Dear Sean, I'd like the beagle across my pond to stop barking. There will always be raccoons and armadillos. Get over it, man. The Book Darling blog. The Book Darling blog. Sean, what I hope for Hanukkah is that mothers worldwide get at least one night off. On my wish list is a night by myself, away from my amazing kids. I'm currently homeschooling, and so I'm away from my dear husband who doesn't know how to boil a pot of water. Away from my adorable but very needy animals who pee on the rugs because we are home all the time, making them nervous. Dear, I am not sure how one night away would actually work, but I'd really like to have it. I'd really like to have it. And when the mothers return the next day, my hope is that we're all appreciated more and more, and that we all have a family engine up and running again, and our world goes right side up. I would agree with that. Charlotte Kent. Dear Sean, my son got home on Thanksgiving, 3:15 a.m. from his deployment in the Middle East. He is quarantining in Fort Hood. And my hope this Christmas is that he will be home with his baby girl and his wife for Christmas. Please send the best wishes to me, Sean. I'm definitely doing that, Charlotte Kent. Let's see. Fowler, 1898. What I hope for Christmas is twofold, Sean. I hope the DH, the designated hitter rule, stays in the National League, and that the Braves will sign Marcell Ozuna to another contract. I hope you can hear that, Mr. Fowler. And I would second that, because that sucker can hit a ball. The miracle, Sean, of just one time is what I would like. The miracle, Sean, one time in my hometown, what I would like is to beat the Methodists to the Mexican restaurant in town on Sunday. I'm talking about the good Mexican restaurant that used to be an auto parts store. Just one time, Sean. One time. This one's from Dorothy, age 8, in Oklahoma. Dear Sean, I hope that COVID-19 is gone, and I hope that nobody in my family is ever sick or dying. I hope my friends are okay in COVID-19 and that they stay safe, and I hope that we get to see Santa and not get on the naughty list or be mean to each other. I hope that we have tacos for Christmas, perhaps a hot dog, or we can maybe have turkey if Mom doesn't want tacos. I hope my dog is not dying, even though she's not sick. She's totally well. I still hope she's not dying. Where's Art Linkletter when you need him? I hope, Sean, that as I write this, that my mother will give me a candy cane like she promised. I hope my dog will not bark as much, because then she will be dying. I hope to make a gingerbread house. I hope that it will snow in the winter. The end. Please read this on your show. Done, Dorothy, done. This is from Books A Tour Place. Books A Tour Place. Dear Sean, my hope for Christmas is that my immediate family will be able to be happy on this particular day, as it will mark 1 year anniversary since we lost our home and 2 beloved dogs in a house fire. I just discovered you recently, and since we own a small used bookstore in the Great Smoky Mountains, I plan on making some people aware of your writings, even though sometimes they're not all that good. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for everything you do, Sean. Well, you make it sound like I really do something, miss. I didn't do nothing. Jenny loves Charlie. Dear Sean, I wish for good health for my husband and peace, of course. Goodness gracious, we all need some peace. I feel like I've been herding cats all year. I wish people would just listen to their mamas, because you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Pretty is as pretty does. Just calm down, world. Most stuff ain't worth a hill of beans. This ain't my first rodeo, so I'll keep hoping, but all I can say is bless your cotton-picking heart. I'm also hoping for a good snow so that I can make a snowman with my grandson. And this is Amy Lou Picks. Amy Lou Picks. Dear Sean, what I hope this Christmas is for you to hurry up and read through all these letters before I bore myself to death. I also hope for some spiked eggnog, so someone in my uptight fundamentalist family will loosen up and cut the rug. It's been 2020 all year. I just want to tell them teetotalers to cut the rug, folks. Dear Sean, this is from Maybell. What I hope for Christmas is that in spite of this year and how hard it's been, we can reflect on some of the inspiring stuff too. The helping of our neighbors and our friends and the small kindnesses I've witnessed that have kept me floating on hope. Kindness and humility, and that we are truly the same, even them low-down, dirty Bama fans. You can tell I'm in West Florida here tonight instead of Alabama. Dear Sean, I would like cornbread dressing this year. End of story. This is from M.K. Yulee. M.K. Yulee. Dear Sean, what I hope for Christmas, the spirit of Christmas, is that everybody would pay it forward this year and end the unrelenting violence, bring some unity and faith to the world. I like to call it world peace or world peace. After 45 years of a nursing career and retirement, I'm tired and looking forward to doing for others what people have been doing for me. I'd like to dip my toes in the ocean again too if I could. Sleeping in would be nice, good coffee, Mile High biscuits with gravy, and dog kisses and cat snuggles would be nice. And this is from Christmas Carol 44. She couldn't have a better name, could she? John, I love my family to enjoy a sense of quiet and calm. It's been such a hectic year for everybody. And taking a few days off for us all to be together will be divine. Plus, my mom is making an annual Christmas banana pudding pronounced manna pudding. And I can't wait to sink my teeth into it. And this last one here is from J. Dias. J. Dias. Dear Sean, what I want for Christmas this year is my family healthy, for things to return to normal. And instead of all the social distancing, I would really like to have Atlanta Braves win the World Series next year. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven, nature sing. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love. Go on, buddy. to the world the Savior reigns. Let all his saints unfurl the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders, wonders of his love. They like us. They really like us. I'd like to play a song here just as a duet that's going to feature me and my buddy Aaron with 2 R's. Was that right? 2 A's. Yeah, I can never remember how to spell that. A-A-R-O-N. This is one that I think needs no introduction. He plays it so beautifully. And you can clock out just for this one, fellas. Aaron, that was just lovely. I got something for you here. That's a case knife. Case knife, everybody. Case knives are special to me. I'll tell you what, it was wintertime when I first decided that I wanted to start playing the piano. Now, I didn't bring one here tonight because you don't play the piano amongst friends because it's offensive, it's loud, it's a biting instrument. So I've chosen to not play tonight. We almost brought a grand piano in here, but we chose to be polite. There's a whole repertoire of music that I used to be able to play with the piano because I learned how to play when I was 9 years old, one wintertime, when my father found a piano in the classified section of the newspaper, and it said, free piano. I'm sorry. Let me say that a little bit more uptown. free panner. He drove across with a few friends on a flatbed trailer. They lifted this Kimball piano into this flatbed trailer. They strapped it down with winches. It was cold. It was wet. I think it was raining. He winched it to that trailer, and they drove across traffic, speeding through. This thing was catching the wind, and then that winch strap came loose, and it started rocking back toward the back of the trailer until the back wheels were hanging off. My father's best friend was following him. He said, "John," leaning out the window at the stoplight, "John, that thing's leaning off the back of the trailer." And so they went up, and they pushed it back on the trailer. They winched it back. By the time it got to our house, my daddy said that it needed to go down into the basement. And all his friends who'd come to help looked at them stairs, and they touched their backs. They said, "Oh, no." They all helped him load this piano down the basement. It went down like this, and then it turned at a 90-degree angle. This Kimball piano did not want to turn. And so right there on the landing, they just decided to leave it. And so this Kimball piano sat there for a little while in my childhood on the landing. If you wanted to play the piano, you had to walk downstairs and shimmy into behind the piano and sit down. Your head would be touching the cinder block wall, and you'd play. Now, I learned how to play music with fundamentalist choirs. These are choirs who really don't go in for many lyrics. We don't really care about lyrics. We have songs that have 2 or 3 words, and that's about it. And they're even more simply melodically and more simply with chord structure. So we'd have songs like "Victory is mine, victory is mine, victory is mine, victory is mine, victory today is mine." Really, really easy music, a great way to be exposed to music. But then Christmas time came around 1 year later, and I was invited to sing and play the piano at this women's luncheon. Now, the church ladies in my childhood always had luncheons. They can't get together without having a luncheon. They eat what they prepare, and their food was just off the hook. They would take potatoes and do 179 things with them. They'd put them on the card tables stacked side by side with red gingham tablecloths, and these things would still be boiling in their cornflower blue cornware dish with the steamed up lids. There'd be scalloped potatoes and cheese scalloped potatoes and cheese scalloped potatoes with bacon, cheese scalloped potatoes with onion and bacon, potato salad with mustard, potato salad without mustard, potato salad without potatoes. And there was a little piano in the corner. I'll never forget this, a Mason and Hamlin in our little sanctuary, or fellowship hall, that is, with the linoleum floor and the asbestos ceiling. And sometimes when it rained outside and it got a little humid, little things would fall. We like to call that complimentary snow from God. The asbestos ceiling would come down. And I sang for this luncheon. I had to sing one song. They wanted one song only, a song that Christmas cannot be celebrated without singing in a fundamentalist tradition, which I know you'll recognize when to start singing it. And I'm going to do this with just Steve Gilmore and me, because I don't have a piano. But I did play this song, and after that, the air went still in that room. And all them women looked around, and they agreed that they would never ask me back. The stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. in the sea that never pined till he appeared, and the soul felt its word. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh ye the angel voices, oh night divine, oh night when Christ was born, oh night divine, oh night divine. On your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night divine. You're too kind, you're too kind. We debated on two songs tonight. The first one that was suggested was the Allman Brothers tribute Freebird. But we settled on something a little bit more classical. I would like to read you a little bit of something here. With my glasses. I got glasses this year. When the pandemic happened, my eyes started to hurt a lot. And I asked the eye doctor what was wrong with me. He gave me an eye test. He said, "My God, what have you been doing since this pandemic started?" I said, "Well, I don't know. Really not much of anything." He said, "If I were to guess, I would say that all you've been doing is playing on your phone." I said, "Really, you can tell that?" He said, "Yeah, the shape of your eyeball is completely flattened on the left side." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, how close do you hold your phone out?" So I brought my phone out and held it like this. I did like that. He said, no, you can't do that. So he gave me a pair of glasses, and here I am, reading with glasses now. My mother says what's next is gray hair in places you don't want it. I get a lot of letters from children. Like I said, I asked for some letters a few weeks ago, and I did get a bunch. And I can't read them all, so everybody who's listening to this, I apologize that I can't get to them all. But I do want to make a few comments before I get started. There was a lot of really, really nice handwriting that I saw there. My inbox had pictures in it, people taking cell phone pictures of their children's letters. And some of this handwriting puts everybody's to shame. Then the letters came in my mailbox. Some of those, well, the handwriting wasn't so good. And I couldn't read them. And so some of these letters weren't able to be read over the air. But I promise you, we have the Army's top scientists working on it right now, deciphering what exactly was said. A few of these letters, actually more than a few, deal with the existence of Santa Claus. So any children out there watching tonight or listening in the podcast airwaves who are worried about the existence of Santa Claus, I would like to tell you something special to me that was read in my household every single year. Now, a little bit of backstory before I get into this. The year was 1897 when this thing was written. 1897 happened to be the very first year the little publication was bought by M. Lofton, founded in this county, and it became known as the Pensacola News Journal. There was a lot to write about during this era, and here are some of the headlines from that 1897. The first Boston Marathon was run with 15 men competing. We don't know why, but they did it. Light bulb hits New York City, still making its way into the rural parts. Who needs light bulbs anyway? Mark Twain responds to rumors of his widespread death, says that they are grossly exaggerated. Oldsmobile is founded in Lansing, Michigan by Ransom E. Olds. And there was also a letter that was submitted and ran in the Pensacola News Journal, along with other letters across the U.S., which was written by 8-year-old Virginia O'Hanlon. She wrote a letter to the editor of the New York Sun. And the quick response was printed in an unsigned editorial on September the 21st, 1897. It was the work of veteran newsman Francis Pharcellus Church. This has since become history's most reprinted, most run, most publicized editorial. It is even the subject of ridiculous live stream broadcasts. God bless whoever's laughing right there at that table. She has given me the strength to go on. Here's that letter. Dear editor, I am 8 years old, and some of my little friends say that there ain't no Santa Claus. Papa says, well, darling, if you see it in the sun, it will be so. And so I am writing to the sun to ask, please tell me the truth. Is there a Santa Claus? Love, Virginia O'Hanlon, 115th West 95th Street. And Francis Church replied, Dear Virginia, your little friends are wrong. They have all been affected by the skepticism of our skeptical age. They do not believe except what they see. They think that nothing can be which is not comprehensible by their little minds. And all minds, Virginia, all minds, whether they be men's or children's, are little. And in this great universe of ours, our man is a mere insect, an ant in his intellect, as compared with the boundless world about him, as measured by the intelligence capable of grasping the whole of truth and knowledge. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. He exists as certainly as love and generosity and devotion. And you know that they abound and give to your life its highest beauty and joy. Alas, how dreary would it be if the world ever had an absence of Santa Claus. It would be dreary indeed, as if there were no Virginias. There would be no childlike faith, no poetry, no romance to make this tolerable. We would have no enjoyment except in sense and sight. The eternal light with which childhood is filled, the world itself would be extinguished. Not believe in Santa Claus. You might as well not believe in fairies. You might as well get your papa to hire men to watch all the chimneys on Christmas Eve to catch Santa Claus. But even if they did not see Santa Claus coming down, what would that prove? You see, nobody sees Santa Claus, Virginia. But that is no sign that there is no Santa Claus. The most real thing in all the world that neither children nor men can see is Santa Claus. Did you ever see fairies dancing on your lawn? I hope not. Because that would be proof that they're not there. Nobody can conceive or imagine all the wonders that there are seen in the unseeable world. You may tear apart the baby's rattle and see what makes the noise inside, but there is a veil covering the unseen world which not the strongest man, nor even the united strength of all the strongest men that ever lived, could tear apart. Only faith, fancy, poetry, love, and romance can push aside the curtain and view the picture of the supernatural beauty and glory beyond all that is real. Ah, Virginia, in all this world there is nothing else so real and abiding. No Santa Claus, thank God. He lives. And he lives forever. 1,000 years from now, Virginia, nay, 10 times 10,000 years from now, he will continue to make glad the heart of a child. Upon the housetop reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus. Down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for the fun of the girls and boys. Oh, ho, ho, who wouldn't know? Oh, ho, ho, who wouldn't know? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with old Saint Nick. You gonna play it for me too? One, what key are we in? Hey. Well, up on the housetop, reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus. Down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for the fun of the girls and boys. Oh, ho, ho, who wouldn't know? Oh, ho, ho, who wouldn't know? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with old Saint Nick. Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney went old Saint Nick. They really can play. You really got to hear them when they're in the element here. This next song is from 1898. We're getting a good old taste of history tonight. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail to ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing in a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing in a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. old. I thought I'd take a ride. I saw Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. She didn't know the song, she sang it very well. We went a-flying through the snow, and man, we got uphill. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Well, I appreciate that rousing round of aggravation tonight. Appreciate you being here tonight, too, and everybody who's tuning in for this glorified slow-motion train wreck. We appreciate it very much. And I want to thank you, too, especially I'd like to thank the children who have been watching or listening, and I'd like to thank them for keeping me on my toes with some interesting letters in this past pandemic. One such letter was sent to me by 8-year-old Anna from Ann Arbor, Michigan, who asked me just a few days ago what I believe the true meaning of Christmas is. The true meaning of Christmas. Well, I'm telling you, these children being homeschooled is wrecking their minds. They're emailing the wrong people. But I do appreciate the chance to answer this question. I can answer this question. You see, I grew up in a fundamentalist community, okay? And we were the only school that had a nativity that was strictly adhering to all of the church denominational practices. And what I mean by that is, for instance, we always sang a song together. The finale of our performance, the nativity, was that we'd all hold hands, cast members, everybody would hold hands, and we would sing Silent Night at the end of the performance. We would sing it in 3 different languages. We'd start in German because our 4th grade teacher, Miss Everhart, was of German ancestry, and so am I. My people were all German. My name, if you go to some places, is Sean Dietrich. Dietrich. Yes. I'm sorry to admit that, but it's true. We would also sing it in Mexican, which is not the same as Spanish. There are different inflections. If you don't believe me, just turn it on to Univision, and you will hear them speak in a different cadence. We had 3 Mexican missionaries who were from Mexico, and they would lead us in the Spanish rendition, the Mexican rendition, and then we would sing it in a mixture of Japanese, Swahili, and Pig Latin, because our school was also filled with many Pentecostals. We did this every year. We would sing Silent Night. It was a stirring performance. Now, our church nativity plays were very, very interesting affairs, okay? Back in that time, and I'm speaking to Anna here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Back in that time, we had nativity plays that were solely casted as children, okay? The idea of a nativity play with adults in it would just be downright weird. It was always children, a cast of entirely made up of children, because fundamentalist people, you see, Southern Baptists, Methodists, Free Will Baptists, which have no free will at all, enjoyed watching 6, 7, and 8-year-olds put on fake beards and recite scripture that was comprised mainly of Middle English and hold live squirming babies in swaddling clothes and putting on the actual second chapter of Luke. Now, the true meaning of Christmas, as communicated to me by Miss Everhart, was a little unclear at first. But eventually I started to pick up on it, and I realized that the true meaning of Christmas does involve, in fact, not using shepherd's crooks for sword fights. We did a lot of sword fighting when I was a kid with the shepherd's crooks, because there were 6 shepherds and only 2 had speaking lines. I was shepherd number 2. That was my official name. The only 2 shepherds who spoke were shepherd number 1 and shepherd number 2. The other 5 were just kind of like, or 4 were just kind of like the 3 stooges. They just sat back there and looked around. We were also known as the Peeblers Filling Station Little League team, really. We were boys who had our own aroma, and the only reason we were there, to be quite honest, was because of Mary. Now, Mary was Christina Moss. She was the prettiest 4th grader in 5 counties. And rumor had it that she was going to be taking care of Miss Everhart's 2-year-old niece who would be playing the Christ child. And so we all wanted to be a part of that. As my cousin Ed Lee used to put it, Christina Moss was so pretty I'd crawl across the sea of broken glass to listen to her belch on the phone. I really do love that table. And so we joined up. We were in this church nativity, and it was really the highlight of my year, but really I wanted to be Joseph. I wanted to walk down the aisle with Christina Moss wearing her blue, carrying Ms. Everhart's 2-year-old niece. I wanted to put my arm around her and sway back and forth as moved by the Holy Spirit. But I was cast as a shepherd. It could have been worse, Anna, from Ann Arbor, Michigan. It could have been worse. I could have been cast as one of the vegetables or fruits. We were the only the only school around who had a full collection of fruits and vegetables at the birth of Christ. We had apples, we had bananas, we had oranges, we had grapes. The grape costume had these purple balloons, and somewhere along the way, the balloons had been deflated. And so whoever was awarded the picture or the costume of the grape person was simply known hereafter as Girl in Purple Leotard. That was it. You'd see a banana, an apple, and an orange, and just a girl walking down behind them like Jane Fonda in her workout attire. And so we had this Fruit of the Loom ad on our stage. And I really, really wanted to be Joseph. I don't think I've ever wanted a role as much as I wanted to be Joseph. The only role I could have coveted more was the role in our church 4th of July production, American Heroes of the Faith, and I really wanted to play Oral Roberts. This isn't going the way I thought it would. I had something tender in mind, but yes, well, Miss Everhart did everything. She was just the quintessential director. She was also assistant director. She was associate assistant director and assistant director to the producer. She was cell block warden, leader of executions, disciplinarian, and responsible for changing the diaper of the Christ child. She was props manager, set designer, and she was when she'd see us, sword fighting with the shepherd's crook, she would come to us very gently, and she would remind us that she was married to a taekwondo instructor, just in case we got out of hand. Now, my part as shepherd number 2 was to stand with my other shepherds, my fellow shepherds, and we were supposed to, as it says in the 2nd chapter of Luke, to be sore afraid. So the lines were as follows. Hey, look, an angel, shepherd 2 said. I am sore afraid. And then Miss Everhart recommended that we bite our nails to show fear, while Marcus Smith stood on a mountain dressed as the angel of the Lord. Now, I don't know how to put this, because I know Marcus Smith is watching this today. He sells supplemental insurance. Marcus Smith is not the kind of guy you're afraid of. You see, he was a notorious bedwetter, for one thing. So standing in front of me, me feigning fear just felt all wrong. And so many of us would take turns saying this line in a quite sarcastic manner. He'd say his line, and we'd look at him, we'd go, "Hey, look, an angel." "Oh, I'm so afraid." And then we would just laugh and laugh and laugh. Well, that was how our play went. That was how our play went. But I learned the true meaning of Christmas, Anna. I learned the true meaning on one day before the dress rehearsal, when I got a call at my house, and it was Miss Everhart who was telling us about the emergency which had occurred in the 4th grade. It was a big one. It was huge. You never expect these things to happen, but they do eventually. Marcus Smith was playing baseball in his backyard, sliding into first, and he was heel first. You never do such a thing. And his heel hit the bag, which was anchored into the ground, and it shattered his tibia. They say bone was poking through the skin. Awesome. He was going to miss months of school, and there was no way on the earth that he could play the angel. And so Miss Everhart called, and she asked my mother if I would play the angel of the Lord. And I was standing right there while my mother was holding our kitchen phone with a 140-foot-long cord. And I'm nodding, and she's saying, "Can Sean play the angel?" "I don't know. How many lines does he have?" And I'm listening. She said, "Turn that TV down." At the time, The Facts of Life was playing on television. I turned it down. My mother listened. "Okay, all right. Can you do it?" I said, "Do what?" "Can you play the angel of the Lord?" "I'll try." Click, she hung up. I had 24 hours to learn the 2nd chapter of Luke. And so I laid on the carpet of our den while my granny and my mother watched a Facts of Life episode with the King James 1611 Bible slung open, reading the lines. And I looked at my granny and said, "Can you turn it down?" She didn't want to turn it down. She loved that show. She loved Tootie the best. Never been a more glorious name on televised sitcoms than Tootie. I tried and tried and tried to memorize that. I really did. I'd close my eyes. I'd try to drown out the sound of the TV. I'd listen to the way I thought a Shakespearean actor might say it. And on the night of the performance, I was sick. I was sick to my stomach. I'm not a natural-born performer, and I can see from the looks on many of your faces tonight that you know this. I can hear my guitar player laughing in the background, too. I was sick. Oh, man, we walked in. Everybody was dressed up. There was the double-person cow costume. There were the fruits and vegetables of the Lord. Girl in a purple leotard. There was a cactus in the corner. Somebody was dressed up as a California raisin. And I was running these over my head, trying real hard to remember them. Miss Everhart was pacing back and forth. Her hair was a mess. Her eyes had that psychotic look of all 4th grade teachers. And there was Mary, she was the Farrah Fawcett of 4th grade. And my cousin Ed Lee was just standing beside her, and he was trying to tell jokes and trying to get her to laugh, and she was just not into him. And I'm running these lines over my head. I'm trying to remember what to say. There's a lot of lines. It's 3 paragraphs. 3 paragraphs that I had to memorize. We went out there. The shepherds came walking down, holding their crooks. And then came the fruits and vegetables. And then came the holy couple. They were holding the baby, the little 2-year-old niece. She was well behaved. They got up onto that little barnyard set. They placed her in the hay. And then it was my turn to walk up this little mountain that they had built. And I stood up on that mountain. And I started to shake. The shepherds said, "Look, an angel." Somebody else said, "And I'm sore afraid." And I looked at him and I said, "You take the good, you take the bad, You take them both, and there you have the facts of life. When the boys you used to hate you date, you must investigate the facts of life. The facts of life. When the world never seems to be living up to your dreams, but as you grow, you got to know the facts of life are all about you. You. And I looked down there and I saw Miss Everhart. Her eyes got as big as silver serving platters. She came up onto the stage. She looked around at the audience, and it was silence. It really was. I had really done something terrible. The people in the audience were just, well, it was a lot like being here tonight is what it felt like. And I will never forget this as long as I live. Anna from Ann Arbor, Michigan, if you're listening. I will never forget this. Miss Everhart, the beautiful woman that she was, she closed her eyes and she said, Noche de paz, noche de amor, todos duermen de reloj, entre sus astros que parecen su luz, de ella anunciado al niñito Jesús, brilla la estrella de paz, brilla la estrella de paz. Stille Nacht, heilige Nacht, alles schlaft, einsam wacht, nur das traute Hoff, heilige Paz. Haudach Nave im lokigen Paz, schlaft in himmlisch Ruhe, schlaft in himmlisch Ruhe. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. And they were in the same country, shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flocks by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day a Savior, who is Christ the Lord, who shall be a sign unto you, and you shall find him wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger. And Suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host. They were saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and peace, peace on earth, and goodwill toward men." I believe that's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. While shepherds feed and trembled over silent flocks by night, rang out that heavenly chorus that gave them boys delight. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. I say, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. While little babe was sleeping in that manger stall, oh, Mary and Joseph saw lots of vegetables. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. I see, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Well, this episode of John of the South was brought to you by Big Brother, Big Sister. Changing West Florida one relationship at a time. Visit bbbsnwfl.org for more details. And my case knives, a tradition of my family dating back to my granddaddy, who once said the best cure for idle hands was to build something. So keep your hands sharp with a case knife. Recording King guitars, pre-war vintage replicas of Montgomery Ward's signature model, and Midnight Shift coffee, a coffee to give you the get up and go, to go up and get the get up and go you're going to try to get. $1 from each bag goes to benefit the Childhood Cancer Riley Foundation. Visit midnightshiftcoffee.org. Well, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. That Jesus Christ is born. That Jesus Christ is born. Thank you. Signing off. Thank you very much. And now that the broadcast is over, and we can play non-public domain songs that we don't have to pay royalties for, we would like to play one song for you here. We consider our signature song, but we're just not allowed to play it much. If anybody'd like to get up here and sing it, they're welcome to it. We leave you with this, and if my mother happens to be out there watching, if this part is included, this is for her, but it's also for my wife, and it's also for everybody who came out here to be with us tonight, because me standing here looking at you you should see what I see. It looks like a funeral. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? I'm free and ready, so we can go steady. How's about keeping steady company? I got a hot rod Ford and a $2 bill. I know me a spot right over the hill. There's soda pop and dancing's free. So if you wanna have fun, come along with me. I say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Come on, baby. I say no more looking, have I done been tooken? How's about keeping steady company? I'm free and ready, so we can go steady. How's about saving all your time for me? I'm gonna throw my date book over the fence and buy me one for 5 or 10 cents. Keep it till it's covered with age, 'cause I'm writing your name down on every page. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Yes, I said, how's about cooking something up with me? Thank you very much. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. Steve Gilmore, Aaron Peters, Billy Howe, Sean Dietrich. Thank you very much. Come up.
Thank you, Sean. This has been just a different night, but a very fun night. And we just appreciate you and your friends coming and sharing. Again, this has just been phenomenal. Whether there's been just a few people here in the room this evening, we had over 350 people join us this evening. That's phenomenal. So thank you very much. I think you'll still see on the screen a text to give. You guys have been very gracious, and we thank you so much. Our littles thank you, and our families thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for joining us, and good night.